will just fully confess that I have um, in my mind, there's a compartment where I get encouragement. And so in that compartment of my mind, there can be Batman in there when I need to fight myself across the road, or when I need to fight somebody else across the road. There can be Granddaddy on my mind when I need to make myself get up out of bed. And there can be Senora Sacha on my mind where I am called to be somewhat intelligent about some of the things I be doing, especially when reporting on the Times, reporting on the news, reporting for the citizens, serving Asheville since 1554. So anyway, it is now today, Thursday, January 18th, 2024. Reporting for the sheriff of my part of town that ain't done nothing wrong to nobody. I have to follow through this report and go through with it. So the report is that yes, there are officers that have had to go through extreme situations with people and their families. Some of these people willingly go through these situations with the people and their families because they want the families to be stable, secure, and healthy and happy, and at least able to continue their existence forward without losing everything. Whereas there are cops that don't like me at all. I mean, I'm searching out for a few of them myself, hooty hoo. But anyway, this ain't about my political brutality. This is about other people going through their political brutalities. So, yep, the killings have gone up since striking began. So that means that AI has started being able to kill more people. Ouch. Well, it is what it is. So let's be intelligent about it and actually be able to do something productive with it. The U.S. Well, the U.S. set another grim record last year as the number of people killed by the policies continued its steady increase. According to a new report released Wednesday by mapping policies, mapping the violence of the policies killed more than 1,300 people in 2023, a year that saw several high profile cases, including the fatal beating of Tyre Nicholson in Memphis, Tennessee, the shooting of an environmental activist who was protesting the construction of a police and fire training center near Atlanta. All right, here's where I pause and say I fully support refunding the police. What do those who are moving the defund the police agenda, having already been proven by Senora Candace Owens to have been up to something to deceive people, to make them think without thinking? So what they think is defund the police without thinking who the heck is going to protect your children? Who the heck is going to go get those who do not care at all for your children? Questioning this I am. So anyway, back to the policies killed more than 1,300 people in 2023, the year that saw several high-profile cases, including the fatal beating of Tyre Nichols in Memphis, Tennessee. I will speak about whenever I did experience police brutality when I know it's safe to do so. And for years, I've known the only persons that I would trust with that information would be Senora Sacha Preto and Senora Barbara Bermudo. I'm praying for Senora Pamela Silva, continually praying for Senora Michelle Gavin. This will not fit on CNN. It is designed for Univision. My church does actually listen to I sometimes. I, Rastafari, submit myself to Jesus, I pray. In nombre de Cristo Jesus. Continuing the report, I'm back to the policies killed more than 1,300 people. That means it's very serious. So I do not protest the training center. We need to be trained more extensively, especially with Nephilim in Miami. And I pray that Senora Sacha is very well protected, Senora Barbara very well protected, others very well protected. And so yes, there have been several cases of deaths in Virginia and other places where people are smothered to death in hospitals by police. Yeah, the ghost of me can tell you very, very lots about that. And so can this thing sitting here trying to live and breathe again. Well, there were only 14 days without a police killing last year on average. On average, law enforcement officers had to enforce the law in extreme circumstances, one every 6.6 hours. Which is also very interesting how this math tends to work out according to a pre-designed purpose. Oh yes, it does. Oh yes, it does. So fear the devil not, and just get as good as God as you can, and know that God's a cop. He's the best cop ever. He's a better cop than Batman. Batman can take instructions. And yes, so yeah, the report was primarily based on the news reports and includes data from page 11A. We are going to page 11A of the Asheville Citizen-Times to find the continuation of the report. State and local government agencies. Now here we have protesters saying release the name of the killer cops because they want to do something about it themselves. They say jail the killer cops because they want to do something about it themselves. So we're going to have actual qualified police professionals to jail the killer cops. Would not you think that those who are out there right now doing their job, don't you think that they want to put the people giving them a bad name out of commission? Yes, I think that they would. So let's continue. As you can hear the state and local agencies, well, the number of such hooty-hoos has risen since Campaign Zero, which runs the Mapping Police Violence Report Project. Mapping Police Violence Project. So, see, they're after me right now. I've been having to bust through these streets like Batman and Roger Rabbit and all them other people at the same time with Voltron. It gets that intense. Wow! The number of such hard kickings has risen since Campaign Zero that runs the Mapping Police Violence Project. So why are the killings rising when very, very smart people begin to open their eyes and do stuff? Began tracking data back in 2013. Meanwhile, last year, the number of people killed by gunfire and of officers killed in the line of duty declined. That's actually good. That means that, there's more people that can, if they choose the light. According to data from the Gun Violence Archive, there was an increase in the number of police officers shot, though. Ouch. We've seen it. Can you fix that there? Anyway, we've seen it stay similar or even creep up a little bit at times when crime was falling or at times when crime was increasing. We saw it persist throughout a global pandemic. A global pandemic when people were staying home for several weeks, months. Some have been stuck in the same house for years, said Justin Nix. Actually, he didn't say that, but anyway. He said something, and it went along with the fact that he is a criminal justice professor at the University of Nebraska, Omaha. Omaha, somewhere in middle America. Well, how many people were killed by the Po-Po in 2023? Refund the police and a lot less people will die. I know that much. At least refund the proper Po-Po. We got to learn to refund the proper Po-Po. At least 1,329 people were killed by police last year, an increase from 1,250 the year prior, according to Mapping Police Violence. New Mexico, where a man was fatally shot by police officers who responded to the wrong address in April, had the highest rate of fatalities per capita, with 10.9 killings per 1 million residents, followed by Alaska and West Virginia. Nearly 90% of those killed were shot, according to Abdul Nasser Rad. The rad dude named Abdul Nasser, managing director of research and data at Campaign Zero. Nasir Rad said public records indicate at least 42% of the incidents were captured on body-worn cameras, though the footage may not be publicly accessible. Body camera video can sometimes contradict initial police accounts of the incident if departments release it. Victims include people of color, people with mental health issues. Victims have included Purple Old Me and Batman, focused on his mission at hand. Hoo-tee-hoo. Nasir Rad himself said. Racial disparities seen in previous years have also persisted at a similar rate. Black people, for example, were nearly 3 times more likely than white people to be killed by police. Hard facts, but I'm reading the paper. The paper said it. In roughly 25% of the encounters, the victim was showing signs of a mental health problem or alcohol or drug use, but these factors are not always reported or clear, Nasser Rad said. In one such case, three San Antonio police officers were charged with murder in June after a woman experiencing a mental health crisis in her apartment was shot. What's causing the increase in police killings? Well, one of the things is people protesting the presence of cops because that gets in the way of the actual qualified people to deal with the situation. It gets in the way. And what would be interesting if the cops who understood the situation would arrest those protesters and give them armor and guns to go get the ones that they're really after. That would help.